You're literally stealing the clothes off my back.
Right, exactly. Okay, so everybody, hey, welcome to Door Court. You got Mark and Steve and me, of course. And we were just talking about Thanksgiving. You guys had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Steve was in Florida.
Oh, we all cyber stalked him on Facebook. Those were great, man.
Yeah, I didn't post any pictures, but yeah, I guess I got associated with the pictures, but yeah. No, Florida was nice. We were visiting.
I guess I was stalking your wife then by accident.
Yeah. But no, Florida was cool. It was good to see Lauren's side of the family, so it was very nice. No complaints.
It was
and
super
Florida
cute.
was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
it totally looked like Norman Rockwell if he was painting family pictures in the 20th century. It's like, oh hey, everybody having a blast. There we go.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And then came back, and then we had our scare today. So,
do we want to talk about
that? Was fun.
This tsunami brought to you by Liquid Death. Mimi and Mark, why don't you start, because you were kind of on top of the earthquake, right?
Yeah, well, like my phone was blowing up, and all of a sudden Jez started like, There's a guy in my neighborhood who goes back and forth on his skateboard just all afternoon, just kind of trying to work out. And I saw him just kind of like on his skateboard, looking at his phone, like, what's going on? And he stopped. And he was kind of like,
right, I don't see anything.
I don't see the giant waves from the abyss.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything, but I told you, I was telling Mimi that because I got a new phone, and because I was messing around with it, just something this morning, I had the volume up really all the way, which I never do. And I swear to God, when that thing went off, I thought that my yellow lifeguard emergency siren from my Ghostbusters set, the thing they wear on their belt.
Yeah.
I thought that thing was going off like downstairs in the garage. That's how loud this fucking thing was.
Jesus.
So I had a heart attack, but it wasn't because I thought I was going to drown. It was because there's this piercing fucking thing coming out of my phone.
Yeah, and you're like, what, 4 blocks from the ocean too?
Yeah, but like if you, I kind of feel bad for my friend Randall, who just went through the Tampa Bay hurricane.
Oh yeah,
and we're all telling him category 5, and he's like, "Dude, I got it." And that's the thing about living on the beach, is like you get to know like the certain signs, and so when they start freaking out and say, "Get a mile inland," which if you think about that for 2 seconds, you can't do that.
You can't do that in San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then the second thing is, and the top of the safe zone is 100 feet. So our front yard is 60 feet above sea level, and there's like 3 streets in front of us. So we're fine at what they called, and then it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah.
So, but you guys know me, I'm pretty imaginative, so I like worst case scenario everything. But now that I'm old and I have I just go up to Mimi and I was like, really? I know I'm freaking out, but I don't think you're freaking out enough. So where's the middle? And she's like, oh, let's sit down. Let's watch the news for a second. I got a meeting in 20 minutes. And then you watch the news and it's like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
The best was texting Walker. And we were like, do you want to split from school? I'm not dying to drive over there with all the numbnuts that are on the road. And he goes, why would I go to a lower elevation? I'm like, all right, man. If you're fine with your parents being swept away like the end of Titanic,
quick, get to the sewer.
So we're like, I'm a block from the water, but I'm I'm on the bay,
right.
And like I mean, actually, I probably shouldn't even say I'm like 2 houses from water. Like there's a house with their backyard is water, a street, a house, and then on the other house. So that's exactly where the school is. So they evacuated the school.
Oh, I imagine.
They actually just brought them up the hill over here and had all the kids up on the hill. They did like a hike, kind of like
that's kind of cute, actually.
Yeah. I did some like I was looking online for like some math stuff to see like what's logically what would happen, and it would like the wave would have had to have been like legit for it to even get to me, but it also puts it into your brain like, why do I have stuff sitting on the ground that I would be pissed if it got damaged? So it, you know, it at least kicked me in the butt to say like that pile of comics on the floor probably is not a good place for it on the floor. Let me move that. Let me elevate that. So anyway, but I'm glad everyone's okay. And it sounds like there's been no like really even in the area like Eureka, they didn't even get hit with pretty big waves. So that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. My buddy felt it in Ukiah, but there was just a little shaky wall.
That's pretty close to where not where the epicenter was, but that's who probably should have felt it.
Yeah. Whoever felt it, dealt it.
Worked out. The worst was all the numbnuts. Like, there were so many sirens and screeches and crashes just in our little neighborhood. And, like, I turned to Mimi and I was like, oh, I'm glad they closed the Great Highway because this isn't awkward. You know, it's like...
Well, I was watching the news and they had people up at the old Cliff House. They were doing the newscast of the Cliff House.
Oh, I saw that.
And you're just watching, like, people like on their
waves,
like going on the skateboarding down the hill, and it's like the tsunami's coming, and like people in the background are like skateboarding, and then like an old couple is like walking down the hill, like who gives a shit? And I was just like, okay, I'm like,
it does rationalize every sci-fi movie where you're like, no one would do that. No one's stupid enough to stick their face in an egg like that. No one would go to the beach when a big tsunami's coming.
Well, Mimi said that exact thing, Mark. She's like, oh, like an alien when you stick your face, you take your helmet off and stick your face in. Everybody's going to surfing now.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, there was a gentleman I work with was telling me that as soon as the tsunami warning went away or whatever it was called, he got pinged by a bunch of his buddies. They're like, we're going surfing. Like, we're going surfing right now. Like, now is the time to go surfing because the surf should be really good.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my buddy Marlon next door who loves surfing, he's like, it's between 5 and 7 foot waves is what it is this time all the time.
All the time?
Because that didn't do anything. And I don't know what it is, but for as far as we're concerned, over the Vibe and Ocean Beach is never below bueno.
Got it. Well,
it was fun to have an adventure. That was the one thing I did want to get in the car and try to. I had that thought. I'm like, let's go rescue Walker, and Mimi's like, there's nothing going on, man.
You'd sit in that crazy traffic, you know.
I know it's kind of disappointing because we're not going to be able to have another January 6th to go to this year. So I'm like really looking forward to like a really fun time. Oh, I'm just kidding.
You want some natural disaster instead?
I needed an adventure now that we're not going to be able to storm the Capitol this year.
I guess you could.
I guess I still could.
I mean, you could storm the Capitol in San Francisco. That's kind of boring, though. It's nothing really in there. Like, although, Anyway. So what? I know you posted the thing. So I should preface this by saying, well, haven't watched Skeleton Crew yet. I know you have, Larry. Mark, have you watched Skeleton Crew yet?
No, but I was on the same page as you where I'm like, I don't think this is going to be for me, but then Larry may have sold me on it.
Well, you guys know I hate that fucking kid shit, right? Because there's no jeopardy.
Yeah.
But there's no jeopardy in Star Wars to anybody, right?
True.
So that kind of doesn't hang over it. And there's a bunch of little kid stuff in the beginning, but they really did it in a charming way, and it really reminded me of the first of the new Jumanjis, where it was a bunch of kids that, you know, have their own issues and everything, but then they all get together in this weird other situation, and they only have they only have each other to count on, and they're not friends. They're not a team. They just all kind of go to the same school, and and the only reason 2 of them know each other is because, well, they're 2 sets of friends, right? But the only reason why one of each set of friends knows each other is because they both got in trouble, right? And so it's all very treacly like that for about a half an hour. And so, Walker was like, let's check it out so we know what to rag on. I'm like, all right. But almost immediately, like, it's really well designed, and I love the Star Wars aesthetic.
Oh,
the costumes are great and shit. So, so I kind of was prepared to be like ho-hum, but I was like, oh, those are fucking cool boots. Or, oh, I haven't seen that. And I think that's the fucking thing from Captain EO. That's typical. And
I did hear that. I did hear that referenced.
There was a lot of stuff like that. I didn't catch the Captain EO thing at first because I honestly don't think I've ever seen that. I've only
you're talking about the elephant like character, right?
No, that's one of the guys from the band in Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
there's little flying squid monkey things. They're little monkey things with little short things. It's got a name. Michael Jackson had one on his shoulder, like a parrot.
Yes. I can't think of what they're called. The Neil. What are they called? I'm looking it up. Go on. Keep on going. Sorry.
But the thing is, I only know that because of Starlog and the fact that I'm an idiot. I was like telling Mimi that, like, I'm just cursed to remember all this crazy shit because it's all connected to an emotion or something, and it's like, oh, I fucking remember getting that. I had the flu, and my dad came home from work with that for me. And that Captain EO was on the cover or something, So like all this stuff just stays in my head because it's part of this pop culture tapestry, which is why. But it doesn't have to be because the little elephant kids are all in class watching these fucking weird ass 1970s Cirque du Soleil from Wish, Temu kind of things on a little holodeck, and you're like, I don't know what that is, but I guarantee you that's from the holiday special because it just looks, and then it turns out
that's what it was. Oh, right, when they did that big dance number. Yeah.
So I found
that's funny.
So that's where all the kids stuff is going on. So I found that really arresting and charming. That like, they're making all this numbnudge shit canon. Like
I like that though.
Because if you're watching that on a little chess piece hologram thing, then that means that happened. And B. Arthur and Art Carney are in Star Wars.
Oh, right.
So yeah, that's basically my plug. I won't tell you anything about it other than there's some really cool, like somebody at Disney went, hey, you know what would be cool if we just took Star Wars and mashed it into Pirates of the Caribbean, and so that's what's going on. They're pretty overt about it, and I haven't really seen anybody say anything about this, but I've been a little busy, and so I haven't really been cooking around on the social media like I have. But B, like none of my friends are really talking about it. They just go, oh yeah, that was cool. Or I'll check it out when it's all out. Like Steve, that was like literally 80% of my friends were like, you're not going to acolyte me. I'm going to wait until it's all out and have an idea if people think it's good or not. And then I'll just burn through it all at once.
But it's
just valid, right? I mean,
acolyte me. That's funny.
You just won't want to talk about it.
But the other thing is, the only reason I'm moving further away from, I'm moving closer to your style of watching and further away from. See, normally it would be like, I wait till the whole thing is on, the whole thing's done, and then I watch it because I watch it how I watch it, and I skip through what I don't care. But I'm actually stopping. I'm trying not to do that anymore because I feel what happens is it gets too far along. And I actually end up skipping too much of it, which is what happened. So, like a great example is like the Dune Legacy show. I think Sagasag was actually talking about it in the post, just saying like he watched the first 2 episodes and now he's kind of going to wait a little bit. And I'm kind of like, I feel like I want to move myself mentally back to like watching serialized TV as it comes on and watching it that way. I mean, I remember how
Hector just said that. That's cool. Just watch them as they come out.
Yeah, and then it's like that's how The Mandalorian was something you had to watch because you didn't want to get spoiled and see what's going on. And I haven't had a TV show like that in a while. But like, this is one I like. Again, I said I might watch it with like Marlo because I think it might be up Marlo's. Marlo might enjoy it. But like, I'm gonna try to watch this one. It's like I'm watching the Dune Legacy as it comes out. Like
how was that? By the way, before I forget,
I like it. Yeah, I think it's great. I'd be interested to see what Sagasag. I think he said he liked the first 2. Here's what I will say. when we started this whole conversation with the Star
Brace
Wars,
yourselves!
and with like Skeleton Crew, like I don't, like you said, like I don't know if this is for me. Like I don't know if Skeleton Crew's for me, but I'm like, but it's more Star Wars. So
yeah,
like I will want more Star Wars. So give me someone's new Star Wars stories.
I want mine.
So you're gonna hear something cool that you might enjoy. So does Marlo? She knows Peter Pan and all that, right?
Yeah.
So you know Mr. Smee, who's the like sidekick to the captain.
Of course.
The robot, which has one working eye, so the other eye reads like he has an eye patch, and one of his feet has been blown off, so his leg reads like a peg leg, is named SM33. So you know.
Oh, so he's Smee.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
They haven't called him that yet, but I guarantee somebody's going to.
And it's voiced by Nick Frost.
Yeah, and it's great. He does a great job. It's because he's doing a pirate voice, and it just really works.
Yeah,
and it's I don't want to tell you because it's good. Just go in there and go, hey, this might be good, and it'll turn out to be just fine.
The two Easter eggs I read during the week that I thought were pretty was that Nick Frost voices the robot. I didn't know that, and Nick Frost, that's the Simon Pegg Nick Frost guy.
Yeah.
And then Urkel is in it.
Is he? Really?
Oh,
yeah. Jaleel White is in it, and I was
like acting or voicing or
like as a character. I don't know what character, but
he either hasn't. I haven't seen him yet, or he's one of the. You know what they did do? They made canon the little werewolf guy from the first Star Wars. So
from the canteen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like his race is a pirate.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's what Hector's saying.
Urkel pirate.
Yeah, I didn't know what.
Well, you would never know because he looks like a werewolf.
Cool, but no, I mean, I'll definitely give it a go. I definitely want to watch it.
I actually did try. I haven't seen Dune, but because of Sagasag and you, Steve, I tried to turn on Dune Prophecy today. And I'm not shitting you. I got 3 to 7 seconds into it, and that's when the tsunami
came.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, maybe that's the sign. So
my whole plan was to like watch some of that and eat some lunch and chill and have something to talk about. And we ended up talking about the weather.
Literally.
There's a teak from Ewok Adventure. What's a teak? I don't know. I'm not good on the Ewok things. I saw it once. Network.
Teak from Ewok Adventure. Teak.
Yeah. Some animal, probably like the blurg or the blarg or whatever that Nick Nolte Ugnaught was running around on. I don't know. You know what? I got to thank you, Mark. Walker and I are just crushing interior Chinatown.
I was just going to bring that up. Great.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Rocket, you're getting credit for this because
awesome.
We're like, if Mark, the guy who tells us to watch that Nutty Beaver shit and completely hooks us up with everything cool, goes, hey, I don't mean to say anything, but it's weird ass movie, Hollywood dimensional universe with Sky from S.H.I.E.L.D. in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, don't. They're cutting down trees in Brazil. You don't need to waste the air. We're good. And so far, so good. We're on like episode 3 now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's a really fun premise. Just we're in a TV show. Yeah,
that's good.
It just keeps getting even bonkers too.
Well, you can kind of see where it's going, like because they do that cool thing with the light, where if you're on TV, it's blue, and if it's the regular world, it's sort of yellowish green.
Yeah,
and sometimes they do it in the same shot, which is really cool. Like the episode we just watched, the third one, where he becomes tech guy.
Yeah.
There's a cool scene that takes place in the squad room, but only Sky and Jimmy A. Woo, or whatever his name is. Willis
Woo. Yeah.
Willis and Lana Lang, or whatever her name is. Lee, Agent Lee.
Yeah.
They're talking to each other against a yellow wall. So it was really cool that you got that separation of light practically, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing the cool lighting tricks they do sometimes. I don't know. It's fun to watch. Like Walker watched it once and then watched it immediately with me, like about an hour and a half later. And I was like, wow, this must be really good. And when I got to the end, I'm like, I totally get it. And if you want to watch it 3 times, I'd watch that again right now. Because you get the feeling that you only missed like 2/3 of it just paying attention to the plot. Like there's so much other shit going on in every shot that I was like, well, this is rewarding, like close attention.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Anyway, so thanks.
Yeah.
It's taken me a minute to get to that one, I think.
Yeah, the ride is fun, and I don't not really a spoiler, but just kind of the way it goes and how it ends is very satisfying as well. Because I feel like it's one of those things where it gets so big and so big, you're like, there's no way this is going to end in a satisfying way. But they figured it out, and they're like, oh, okay, we know how to do this. So
I kind of think, can I guess? Because I kind of Walker and I always try to war game it before we get to the next one, and I think that like Sky, the chick from S.H.I.E.L.D., she's like started like his brother is Kung Fu guy, right? So I think his brother kind of figured out that there's a TV show going, that the world is a TV show, and so Willis is just a background guy who's understanding the nature of reality is not what he thought it was, right? I mean, all right.
Yeah. I mean, and I was getting to the point where I'm like, okay, is it a dream? Is someone in a coma? Is this someone telling a story about a story? Is it multiversal? I'm like, how are they going to wrap us up in a way that I feel satisfied?
Oh, it's got to be that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That the world is a TV show, and we just followed these guys who figured it out.
Yeah.
And, but it's great because it's a quest to find your brother, right? It's like it's Super Speed Racer and Racer X. So I was really into that. That like the brother got to do something cool and went off into the world and never was heard from again. And the main character is like, I want to be cool like my brother. I don't know. I just his whole arc was, I don't know. Are we talking into this, Steve, or
no? I it keeps on, it keeps on showing up in my Hulu. It's funny. I got we just got new Amex. I got a new Amex card, and because I got an Amex card, I have like all like this entertainment credit. So like now I have like Paramount Plus and HBO and all. So now I have like 50 times more things to watch. Even though I don't watch anything. So no, it's I know it's on Hulu. So it's one of those shows I will definitely watch and like probably speed watch.
Well, you won't be wasting your time. That's what we're saying. This is a good one. I really liked. I mean, come on, coming to get to you get to watch stuff when you get to watch stuff. Well, we're on like season 2 of Hell on Wheels, right? Which is 14-year-old show, but oh my god, is that so? I was gonna write a door cord, but I figured why don't we just talk about all these things, right? Because it's not really an article to say. Ordinarily, you guys have seen Hell on Wheels, right? You know what it's about?
I know the show. That's the one with Common.
Yeah, building the trains, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Anson Mount from Strange New Worlds plays the main character. He's basically Jonah Hex, but looks sharp and rugged in U.S. grade A. And but there's a bit where he's trying to avenge like all the Yankee scumbag Union Blue guys hung his wife and raped his kid, or backwards. He doesn't know, right?
In that order.
He hunts the first couple episodes is hunting all these guys down. So you're really kind of on the side of the main character, even though it's gruesome. Until the last guy, it turns out he doesn't even know who this guy is, but he's got a picture and has his name, Sergeant Shaw. So he finds this guy that fits the description, but it turns out it's not him. And the audience knows that it's not him because everybody suspects it. It's like, hey man, colorblind hands coming to kill you. And he was like, I know all those guys. I know what happened. They're friends of mine, but I wasn't the sergeant. Look, here's my papers. I got there a month and a half later. Just to fucking tell that guy. And then, 3 scenes later, he kills the guy with his bare hand. And he's going, yeah, fuck yeah. I finally got him all. Woohoo. And he's like, oh, hey, sorry, man. That was the wrong guy. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then that's the end of an episode. They start the next one, and you figure, oh, we're going to have to like have a whole episode of this crying bullshit. And just basically Common goes up to him and goes, hey, man, that was fucked up. And he's like, yeah, the fucked up part is I don't care. And they just keep going. And
he's like, I consider that a job well done kind of thing?
No, it's just he doesn't feel anything. He feels like he should have, anything, right? He feels like I completed my mission, kinda, or I should feel bad that I killed an innocent man, kinda, or
But I don't.
It's just like, well, that happened. Let's keep going. And I thought that was a really bold move. And I stopped the show dead. I told Walker, I was like, any fucking other show, I would stop watching this right now because that's an irredeemable main character. He fucking murdered a guy in cold blood and doesn't care, and we're all just supposed to forget that. Like Picard's a robot now.
Yeah.
And guess what? That show is so fucking good. I did. I'm like, let's go, And then Common's like killing guys who killed prostitutes. I mean, it's a crazy show that Walker likes to watch to relax.
How many seasons is it?
I think it's 5.
Shit, I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's,
Are you happy with Handsome Out?
It's fantastic, man. It's like, yeah, I kind of, if I even tried to sum up the first season, you'd think it was like a 15 season show. There's like, it's very dense. Lots of crazy shit happens. Everybody has some kind of weird ass reversal of fortune, and they always get out of it. And like the end of last episode, like the main character's like seconds away from dying in a firing squad, and you're like, well, I happen to know this show went on for 5 years, and he's still in it. But how do they pull this off? But I really don't see how they're getting out of this.
That's funny.
And then they do something like you said about Interior Chinatown. They do something that it follows the internal logic of the show. So you kind of go, well, that's pretty unlikely, but I actually see how they got there.
Yeah.
And okay. That's cool. So, and then like, 2 episodes later, he's clean, he's got a haircut, he's bossing people around. It's fucking fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I can't believe that show's like how many years old? 13 years old?
Well, it started in 2011, yeah. So that's whatever nuts. That is.
That's crazy.
I did the math. I was like, why did I knew that it was on, but Walker was 4. so our TV was either, Mickey Mouse Club and Caillou or like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
and Star Trek when I could sneak one in.
Love Caillou.
And is that the little bald kid?
Yeah.
That everyone hates because he whines. So I gotta see what is that on? Do we know what that's on? What are you watching it on?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, Prime. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I also love Shrinking. If you guys watch that, what a fucking gut punch of a show.
That's the Harrison Ford one.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And that's even a little more impressive because it's the guys who did Ted Lasso and Cougar Town. Bill Lawrence. Half of Scrubs is in it, which is really fun. They all show up like Rachel Dratch in an episode of 30 Rock. And but like some serious ass shit happens. The premise of the show, right? That like it's damaged people helping other damaged people, right?
Yeah.
The psychiatrist. And the Jason Segel character, his wife died. So he's got a resting dead wife face, right? And they meet the guy who she died in a car accident, and they meet the guy who did it just accidentally, and they make you think that it was this horrible thing and it ruined his life, and his wife or girlfriend probably died too because she's gone. And then they find episode, I don't know, the last episode they watched, it's second season. They just revealed that it was a fender bender, and she just hit it funny, and like the other his girlfriend's gone because he's like, he was a little drunk, but he wasn't legally intoxicated. And he's like, no, you don't get it. My life is over. And every time I see you, I'm going to think of her. And like, you have to go. And it's like, it was like more heartbreaking in that it was such a close thing that everybody just could have got away with embarrassment.
Yeah.
But they make it seem like it was this crazy ass thing to the audience. And you realize you feel like an asshole because that is the worst thing that could happen to all these characters, right? So it doesn't matter if she died in a fiery plane crash, saving an orphanage, or if she just hit the side of the door wrong,
Yeah. She's still dead.
That's a really good way of kind of demonstrating how something just feels so monumental from your point of view, but then when you pan out a little bit, it was a minor blip in the universe.
And then the killer thing, though, is these are the funny guys that are doing it 23 minutes, 38 minutes at a time. Like, it's so well written and so well cast that you can just, there's like 3 pages of Alan Moore's script, and Harrison Ford just goes, "No, I got this," and does,
right,
and then
right.
it's like, yeah, that's why you get paid to do that, right? It's a gut punch.
The cast is crazy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, it's got the wife of the one doctor.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's Bill Lawrence's wife in real life. I keep forgetting her name.
Is her husband on the show
Krista Miller
from Married with Children? He's like
in the cast, yeah. And by
like,
the way, that guy can fucking act up and down the street.
I've seen clips of him on the show where he's just happy and everyone likes him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get the mail. You want to come with me?" She's like, "What? Down the driveway?" He's like, "Yeah, it'll be fun."
That's what it is.
What, Jefferson? Ted McGinley?
Yeah, Ted McGinley.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every time you see him, though, he's doing that, and then something fucking crazy happens, and he reveals that he's a real human being. But then it's like, oh no, it's not a pose really, but it's a mask that he wears that his face is grown to, because they have 3 sons, so everybody counts on him to be like the unflappable guy. But then it's oh my god, man, the show is crazy.
What was the thing with him?
About killing
Ted McGinley? Like Ted McGinley shows up on your show, and then it's like guaranteed to hit syndication or something like that. It's like,
yeah, the dumb thing was that's when your show is over. Except nobody realizes. No, that's when your flagging show gets 4 or 5 more seasons.
That's what it was. Yeah, because he's like, because it's like every show he's ever been on, always hits the syndication number, so that everyone makes money on it forever. Like back to like Love Boat, I think. Although I don't think he was that early in Love Boat, but he was on Love Boat.
Yeah, Ace the photographer. No, he was the guy that they come in to breathe a little like, "Hey, it's U.S. grade A low kid." Yeah. And so all the Teen Beat girls goes, "I keep watching Love Boat with my stepfather who's touching me inappropriately."
I mean, he will forever be Jefferson Darcy in my head.
Sure.
Always. But that's the name but he'll always be from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, that sounds like an interesting show. The other one that I forgot that actually comes out today is the Creature Commandos.
Yeah, I saw that on my Netflix, but I can't decide. I guess I will. It's cartoons, man. I don't care. But James Gunn said everything that is in Creature Commandos forward is in the DCU, and so anything. I guess they mentioned Starro and they mentioned a couple of things from some of the movies. He goes, "That is all." Yeah, the press I saw was hilarious. He said all of that is canon. And the only thing, and all that makes all of Peacemaker canon, except for, and he goes, except for that bit with the JLA. It starts laughing.
Except for that one scene.
I love that. Except for that bit. That's
I mean, the one thing I am interested.
Check it out. Walker Young announces.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we will be watching Creature. That's what I was going to say, buddy. I was like,
clear your schedule.
I'll watch it.
I mean, the one thing I'm interested in is I know David Harbour voices Frankenstein, so I have to just hear what that sounds like. I want to hear if he's actually doing a voice or if he's just like, I'm David. Because again, he's still he's my favorite Hellboy. I might be a little blaspheming, but he's my favorite Hellboy.
100%. He is the best Hellboy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and I actually really like the new one. I don't know if you guys did. You see that, Mark?
The new Hellboy.
Yeah, you put it in the share folder.
Oh, I did. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Larry would like it.
Yeah.
A little too horror focused, but it's decent.
It's more a horror movie that happens to be a Hellboy movie.
Yeah.
Listen, it felt to me like felt to me like an X-Files pilot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. I can deal with that level of horror.
Yeah, if you go with it and you're just like,
look, it's a weird guy with an elbow on his nose. I can.
Yeah.
It's like if you go into it like, oh, this is a pilot because we're gonna do 10 more of these adventures with Hellboy and a random, BPR. What is it? BPRD, RP, whatever he's gonna be with another person and they're gonna go on another adventure. And if you kind of use if I use that logic going in, after I watched it, I was like, oh,
That
okay,
works, yeah.
this is just an adventure with this person, and then he's going to be with another one, and it's going to be another thing. And I was like, oh, I would watch that as a show. It was long. But anyway,
too long.
Yeah. So Creature Commandos. All right. Well, now I'm interested to hear what Walk's got to say about it.
The one thing I want to figure out is Rick Flag, Colonel Flag, is in it. But I don't know if he's dead or not. Which would be cool.
It's his dad. It's the dad.
Oh, it's the dad.
Oh,
Senior. Rick Flag Senior.
Who cares?
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman. But I think they say in this, Kinnaman's character is dead. He died in whatever
the second
Suicide Squad.
Whatever that mission was. The
Starro mission.
There's a couple things like
Pete Davidson mission, right?
Yeah, I think he's alive, right? That's the one, the Weasel. Like I think he's the only survivor of the whole. Well, I think he's listed as the only survivor of it because
he pops up in the after scenes credits
because like all the ones that live. Right in the end, like, don't they all get to just go and disappear? Like, that's kind of like the spiel.
I don't remember.
I gotta watch.
I can't remember.
I think they all die, right? That's the whole point. I don't
know.
I think Idris
Elba.
The rat chick, the chick that talks to rats.
Yeah, Harley Quinn.
And Harley Quinn, they live at the end, but I think I gotta watch that again. I haven't seen it in a while.
There's a sentence that will never come out of my mouth.
What?
I gotta watch that again. I remember. I'm good. That Starro thing was cool, and I saw Dr. Fate and that other Jess Shazam thing. I'm good with James Gunn DCU.
I'll like I said, I'll be interested. So that Skeleton Crew, Creature Commandos. What else did I write down?
I got one more for you.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Oh,
you thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say. Oh, what was the one you wrote down?
I know I wrote down. I read that. They're throwing bags of money at Viggo Mortensen to play Aragorn again in the next Hobbit or voice
how do
it.
You not? Come on, man.
Huh?
Just Leonard Nimoy it. Take the money. Make everybody happy.
I mean, what's Viggo Mortensen doing?
You're 90.
I mean, what's he doing?
Viggo.
But in a real movie or an animated movie?
I forget what it's being called. It's right. It's called
If
Hunt
it's bags
for
of
Golem.
money, that's got to be live action.
It's Hunt for Golem, but I don't remember. I don't think it's animated. There is the animated one, which is like the War of Rohirrim or whatever it is.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about? Where'd that come from?
I think it's just, if I remember correctly, and someone in here will correct me, but I think it's just like an off-camera said something.
Okay.
And then they're like they made a movie, and it's an animated movie, and but I think, does it say?
Well.
Anyway, if Steve's gonna be reading, I have a cool.
Yeah.
You guys know I love Danger 5, right? That crazy Australian thing.
Yes.
So I was surfing around one day, and it's on Amazon Prime, so I watched the first one again. Took my little Danger 5 hat, jacket out. It was great, but it suggested something. I don't know where I was just watch. I don't know, something suggested this Australian comedy show called Super Bro. Holy shit, you have to watch that.
Super Bro?
Yeah, it's really quite entertaining. You remember Flight of the Conchords? It's if Flight of the Conchords was, starring two different guys and it had nothing to do with music. They're two brothers and they play their own parents, which is pretty funny. And they're
Super Wog.
It's dude. Walker and I crushed through 2 seasons in like 3 days.
Oh, okay, interesting. It was originally called Super Wog.
Yeah,
but they changed it to Super Bro because I guess
WOG
is a slur.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
it wouldn't matter because that doesn't read at all to Americans. But
it looks funny.
But it's just, oh my god, there's like it's exactly, they say that it's produced in association with YouTube, so obviously it's like Letterkenny, that it started on YouTube and YouTube was smart enough to go,
Hey,
hey,
you guys can do this as a show.
Yeah, we'll keep you going and shoot some stuff, and we'll get a, classier looking Australian whore to put her boobs on your car window instead of having to be your own sister, because that's not good. Well, anyway, that's right. They do whatever they want, right? Which is hilarious. It's like, oh, hey, we're Bitcoin millionaires one episode, and it all goes away. And oh, we're walking in some place we're not supposed to be and get hit on the head, and it's a zombie apocalypse, and it turns out it was just a gas leak. And it's so funny, and it you can turn your brain off. It's kind of like watching Brad Pitt in Snatch if it was just hilarious, and Australian. It's just crazy. Hey, that's Philbo. We said Letterkenny. I wore my Modine's 3 shirt to Thanksgiving, and everybody was like, "What is that?" And I said, it's just a T-shirt from a TV show, like literally everything I wear. And my father-in-law was, no, you have to explain this one. I'm like, okay, get ready. I'm not going to stop. This is from a show that's really good. And I did. I kind of like performed a kabuki opera of Letterkenny, and like 3PO at the end of Return of the Jedi, it's like, oh, and then the hockey game started, and it was pretty funny.
I did the noises. I muted myself, but I did the noises in my head.
So I can't recommend Super Bro enough. Man, that's like 4 shows that.
Yeah, dude. I like. Well, it's like Super Bro, Skeleton Crew,
Hell on Wheels,
Creature Commandos, Dune Legacy. But I don't know. As you want to get around to it.
I just don't like Dune that much. I have a really weird experience with Dune. Like when I was 15, I would just read everything in the town library because we lived in the middle of nowhere. And so then you go out into the bookstores, and I started the A's, which was great because I'm reading Asimov and all that stuff. And so I'm just like hanging out, looking at covers, like, oh, this is a cool. Like I was really into Michael Whelan, who's a Connecticut artist. Like, if this has a Michael Whelan cover, I'm just going to get it. Which is kind of like a comic book thing. But it's got a good cover. It's got to be good inside. And like,
the old trick.
Translate to novels, but it did for me. But I'm standing in this bookstore called Laureate's, and this guy goes, what are you doing? Looking for books, man. He's like, science fiction books? I'm like, yeah, I'm standing in the science fiction section. I'm getting creeped out. He's like, you should buy this book, Dune. It's really good. And I'm like, okay, cool, I will. And then I bought it just to get away from him. So now I have this book that's like fucking this thick, and I'm like, I have to read it. But every page I turn, it was like, that guy was so weird, man. That's some.
You see that guy's face? Yeah,
get out of here.
That sounds like every other Dune fan I've ever associated. So
that's why I don't like Dune. I'm like, no, that's not my religion. My religion is Star Trek, where you just fly around doing cool shit with weird people.
Well, that you've described Baron Harkonnen as every Dune fan, which pretty much fits in line with my experience with Dune fans. So, no, the other one, they just dropped the trailer for the Doctor Who Christmas special. I don't know if you guys have you seen that?
I haven't seen that yet. No, I gotta go. See.
Yeah, it looks like a cast of 3 people and green screen. Like honestly, it is so sad looking. And I'll let you.
If you're a big Doctor Who fan, like that's perfect. Because in the 70s,
it was one
sad shit anyway, right? It's like,
yes.
Oh, they're running through the rock quarry again. It's another planet.
Well, this one, it's like just watch the trailer and
do you want to spend the rest of the time telling Hector how fucking lame Dune is?
No, I like Dune. I'll let it breathe, and that's what we'll leave it at.
Yeah, you read all the books, right, Steve?
I did. I even read the ones that his son typed into ChatGPT and printed. So
I actually love the story of the first one, but I don't like any of the adaptations because it's so much better in my head. Like Like I love Dennis French name. What's that? How do you pronounce his last name?
Villeneuve.
I love those movies. They were great.
Beautiful.
Except my favorite thing in Dune is mentioned in like 20 words, and then they just make another movie, and it's just like I gotta have the whole point of like the reason Dune happens is because of the spice and the navigators, and like. There was just one navigator who's like, man, I'm sick of this fucking shit, man. And I'm just going to blaze my spice and fucking head out and fuck everybody. And then his maximum chillness allows him to return and tell everybody how cool everything is out in the world and starts this giant thing of fucking space guys going to do the cool shit, man. And they all turn into Exxon employees. Like, give me that fucking movie, right? And they dismissed the whole fucking cornerstone of the whole thing with, the Bene Gesserit and apologies. With just like, oh yeah, these guys figured it out. And that's how this happened. 10,000 years later. I'm like, all right, at least Christopher Walken is the emperor.
Dune is so rich of, I consider it like this insane sci-fi tree, right? It's so rich of these like insane ideas that to navigate it, you can't. It's like there's not like one path. Well, that's what I think. What's his name's trying to do with the movies is like one path, but it's like there's so many different stories you can tell, which is also why like the Legacy show. I'm like, cool. It's kind of like referenced and stuff, like maybe, but like when you get to like the books like House Carino, House Atreides, and all that stuff, it's just fucking nonsense, craziness. And it's just like, because again, it just like, from a science fiction standpoint, it just keeps on splintering it off into all these branches. And it's like, let's explore this branch, let's explore this. And it's just like, I don't know, it'd just be really difficult to connect it all back, which is why, like, whenever, if you want to really blow your mind, if you go on YouTube, you can look at people that have like read the books and try to connect it back to other books. They're like 4-hour YouTube clips because it's like impossible to connect shit. Anyway,
my thing is I don't have room in my brain for another one of these, which is why I don't dig on Game of Thrones and I don't dig on Lord of the Rings. I go watch it. It's cool. I'll run over this show eventually. I love the idea of it. But I get if when you started saying like, oh, it's this giant thing, that's actually a ding against it for me.
No,
like,
I agree. Well, you know what?
I'm like so into Star Wars. That's why I miss Dune. I think I was 14 when Star Wars came out, and I think if I was 17 and like had some beer already and maybe blazed a few with my buddy Todd Yakinovich, maybe I would have been more of a Dune guy. But I definitely would have got into Led Zeppelin a lot sooner.
You're an ear, nose, and throat doctor. You're not an ear, nose, throat, elbow, wrist, knee, foot. You gotta have your specialties.
I tell
I got room for one more.
I'm not a baseball fan, but I'm a Red Sox fan. That's what I tell people analogy. About stuff like that. You know, it's like I can't buy into the whole thing, but one or two, I'm totally down with. Well, and Dune's so cool. It's great for references, right?
Yeah.
So
how you doing?
No, but you're right though. It's because it's like, even if we go back to what we were saying in the beginning, like I guess Dune for me, there was never enough of it besides the books in pop culture for me to get enough of it. Whereas like now you're finally at maybe we're a little bit with that with Star Trek, but we're definitely like that with Star Wars now, where there's a lot of Star Wars and there's Star Wars for different people. Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, Andor, like, there's no I guess like maybe the crazy Star Wars fans going to watch it all. Probably all of us will watch it all. But at the end of the day, there's like, there's going to be there's going to be shows or elements of Star Wars that it's like, nope, that's kind of not that's not for me. Like, as and
I wish I could quit Star Wars. I hate cartoons. I watched all that fucking Rebel shit and Clone Wars. I watched all that crap.
Yeah, I know. I don't like cartoons, but I watched 8 seasons.
Well, that was definitely Walker led, at first. But I'm not gonna lie, I got into it. It was really good.
But use that same analogy with like Star Trek. It doesn't matter what Star Trek is out there, you're probably going to consume it, right?
And I mean,
unhappily, modern stuff.
What's
I
that?
didn't watch Prodigy. I'm not going to watch Academy. I don't fucking care, man. You can't make me do it.
You can't make me.
I haven't seen half of.
No!
I haven't seen half of Voyager or Enterprise. It's not for me. I show up at the end.
I know that person has.
I love it.
Yeah, I do watch Lower Decks because it's the best Star Trek that's being produced right now. If they did the best Star Trek on fucking Bazooka Joe wrappers, I'd have cavities from all the gum. It's like I don't like cartoons isn't like set in stone. It's a day format I don't respond to. Well, right? If you're doing fucking great work, even I'm like, well, Tiger Woods is a great golf person. I love watching him do this golf thing, even though I don't understand why you would fucking play golf, right? If somebody's doing the top of their game and what they're doing, it's a joy to watch. Right?
Yeah, it's that first hurdle that you have to jump over. It's exactly like Skeleton Crew. It's like, oh, it's all kids.
Yeah,
I'm already out. So now I have one hurdle I have to jump over. Like same with you kind of you essentially with cartoons. It's like, oh, it's a cartoon. I'm out. Like Creature Commandos. Kind of not there, but yeah.
Can I just say, stop trying to get me into your favorite cartoon. It's not going to work. Venture Brothers sucks. They're fucking making fun of Johnny Quest. Eat my dick. The same thing with whatever that fucking C-Lab 2021 show was.
Right.
Fuck you. All right. I don't mean to like go ahead and enjoy what you're gonna enjoy, but like telling me like, oh, watch this is not going to be positively received. Like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. No, I have checked it out just to shut people up, and hopefully that'll happen. Wow, that was a bummer. I'm gonna watch Creature Commandos tonight because my kid's gonna,
it's on the docket.
I find watching stuff like we went to go see Wicked. Like you can't pick a fucking I'm not interested movie, and you just pick something. You're with a bunch of people who are into it, so you gotta get wiped along with their energy and enthusiasm. And then it was a fucking blast because Mimi was dropping all the Easter eggs for Walker and me that we do to her during Marvel movies. So that was like a fucking joy. Where like I know Kristen Chenoweth is from,
Pushing Daisies,
Ally McBeal, all that shit. But she's like, oh, that's this and the woman next to her. Those are the original cast from the Broadway show, and that guy's the original wizard. And like, okay, that's cool. Like, oh, I get it. It was fun, but that's because of who I'm watching it with. So if I watch Creature Commandos with my kid, I'll probably love it.
Right. And you didn't get asked to leave because you were singing too loud, right?
No, he did take his pants off though.
I have to say, like, yeah, they were singing, but it didn't read like a musical to me, really, because I'm already used to the Wizard of Oz, like Oz being this like weird ass place anyway. Like, and their design aesthetic was just like a hair down from Dr. Seuss. So it didn't really. There's not real singing in it. It's just like fucking people doing shit like this, and it's kind of easy to go along.
Who directed it? I is it the
James Gunn?
No.
Although that explains why Bowen Yang is in it.
Oh no!
Everybody with eyeglasses had super cool frames. And I love the costumes and the textiles. There was some idiot, Michelle Yeoh. She's playing some made-up character that the marvelous Mrs. Misanthropy or whatever. But she has this costume on that looks like it cost the GDP of India. And so every time she was on stage or on camera, I was able to not worry about what she was saying because I never can understand her. and it's not a ding at her. She speaks perfect English. It's my ears. I can't hear it, but she has this like sort of flowing magical way of movement that they really accentuated with her costume. And I was like kind of hypnotized by watching the folds and the embroidery going around. So you can always find something cool.
I didn't. Yeah,
I don't care. It's not a movie. Stupid as shit. So I was like, is that it? No, we got to go watch the second part. I'm like, really? Is it at least like next summer? No, 3 years from now. All right, whatever.
So they said it was the guy who directed Crazy Rich Asians, which I then had to look up. That's actually the guy who directed G.I. Joe Retaliation. So
the better of the G.I. Joe movies.
Right, is that the one with The Rock?
Yeah, and Bruce Willis.
I fucking love that. He's the reason we call us Joes.
Wait, Bruce Willis is in that one?
Yes, he's Colonel Joe Cotton. The reason they call him G.I. Joes is because of him.
You okay? I got a little acid reflux.
Yeah, he's like,
I haven't seen that. Yeah. I don't think I've seen that movie since it came out.
Cholesterol's a little high.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they have a whole plot of the movie that you're doing, and then Snake Eyes is just off doing his own thing for the entire movie. He's having his own little... They crammed 2 movies in one. They killed Channing Tatum off in the first 5 minutes.
He was Duke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to watch that again. What that's got to be.
G.I. Joe Retaliation is top 5, and no kidding, for movies I like to watch when nothing's going on. There's like ninja fights on ropes on the side of a snow-covered cliff. Why? No reason. Just fucking cool. It's like a thing that you would expect your G.I. Joes to do. So we're gonna put this in the movie.
It's funny. The only thing you need to know about the first one is that the first one ends with what's his name? The guy who can do faces, disguises. He takes over. He becomes the president. There you go.
Yeah, I saw him in the theater. So I have no mental recollection of any of these movies.
I don't remember the first one much at all, but I remember the second one. Like Walter Goggins is the warden, and Eric Sims is in it. Come on, man! This whole thing. I don't know why Jonathan Blair said John Chu. Were we talking about?
That's the director of the Wicked.
What? The guy who plays Sulu?
No, that's John Cho.
John Cho. I just assumed it was a typo.
No, so that's funny. Larry? Is that a movie that you, if there's nothing to watch, which probably is unlikely, what's a go-to that you'll just turn on because you'll just enjoy it playing in the background?
Like you mean like Fletch and Star Wars and Raiders?
Yeah.
So here's what I do now, because I know those movies so well. I can just kind of like sit down quietly and play it in my head. So this new thing I do now, I go to Pluto and they have a comedy channel that's on, and I just like scroll up. They allow you to go 3 hours back and 3 hours ahead of what you're there. So I did that this morning, and they were like, oh, Anchorman's going to play at 2, except it's 11:30. I can just press play and it'll start playing now. So So I will just surf around and see something on Pluto that looks like something I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's why, like, G.I. Joe Retaliation will totally show up. Zero Effect is really good for that. I'll watch that whenever that's on. I love that movie so much, and it only made $5 million when it came out. And like, I think 3 of that was just me. Like, I went to that 4 times in the Daly City, and all 4 times I was by myself in the theater.
I saw it in the theater. I know I got a ticket for it. So, how about you, Mark? Do you have a movie that you just?
Well, lately it's been the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That's okay.
I'm like, oh, I got to build a bookcase. All right, let me put this movie on in the background.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what's his name? Jack Reacher is cutting a Nazi in half with an axe. All right, cool. Let me just watch that real quick. All right. Oh, Superman just killed 20 guys with a machine gun. All right, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, the scene with them on the boat might be my favorite scene in a movie in like the longest time. Like when they're
he's like covered in blood. He's like, is that your blood? He's like, oh, I hope not. Oh, when he's like, yes. He's like, I fuck you. We're men, right? Yeah, we're men. I'm a man. I'm the strongest man there is, and I only fuck other strong men. He's like, oh, I like that. And Henry Cavill's like, all right, guys.
That was the last action movie that Mimi was just on fire. She was just like, she loved it. It was the whole Henry Cavill thing. You know,
Yeah.
she's just, oh, he's going to be killing people. All right, I'll watch that.
Oh, he's killing Nazis.
Can we do Man from Uncle tomorrow? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right, boys.
That's it for my TV. So that, yeah, it's shaped up. That was it exactly, an hour long.
Hold on.
Wow,
So we got Super Bro on. So just to confirm, Super Bro on Netflix.
Yes.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Creature Commandos. I don't know what that's on.
That's
probably
HBO Max.
HBO Max. That's it.
HBO Max, and then Hulu, right? No.
Disney and Hulu are the
Dune Legacy is Hulu. No.
Prophecy
is HBO Max.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who Christmas thing. I think you just got to find online. What I skip? Oh, Hell on
Wheels.
Who's watching Hell on Wheels?
Dude, that show's so good. It is so good. It's crazy. But Shrinking Man, that's the gut punch. Because you don't see it coming. It's like, man, everything's going well. It's really funny. And like something crazy happens. And
interior Chinatown.
Like, well, fuck it. What's gonna happen?
What are you gonna do? I'm 90.
He's got in the show, he's got Parkinson's, and the doctor tells him your sleep is fucked up because you just got to stop drinking. And so he's like, all right, I love all these people, but I can't tell them because I'm Harrison Ford. And so he invites Jason Segel over, and he's like, this is my whiskey I've been saving. He's like, this whiskey's been all over the place. And you can kind of hear the like Raiders of the Lost Ark theme. It's like, oh, this is old Indy, man. He's hanging it up. And Jason Segel's going, ooh, this is sea whiskey. He's like, don't call it that. And they just like share a shot. And he's like, I always give you shit, but you're doing a good job. Keep it up. That's the last whiskey I ever had. And I wanted to have it with you. And you're like, manly tears the whole time. And it's just great. Anyway.
Well, I wrote it down. So
it's on the list.
Hell on Wheels, Super Bro, Skeleton Crew, Shrinking, Interior Chinatown, Creature Commandos, Dune Legacy. A lot of shit, man. I don't have time to watch any of those.
I know.
That's what we got juggling.
Yeah.
I hope Creature Commandos is only 20 minutes long.
We'll report back next week, right?
We should watch that. We can all watch that, right?
Walker's football's over, so maybe I can get him on again.
Oh, nice. Yeah, do that. And then, I don't know. I guess I got to go to Screen Rant and see all the Easter eggs in the Skeleton Crew before I watch it.
Yeah, same.
See it, because I remember when The Mandalorian was coming on, we were watching Screen Rant like
all the time.
Yeah.
Screen Rant was like our go. Like, was it Screen Rant? Was that the guy?
Screen Crush.
Screen Crush. Yeah. I don't want to give the wrong person
not
credit.
Screen Rant. They suck.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, Mark, thanks. Always a pleasure, man. You're the best.
Yeah.
And good talking to you, Steve.
Same.
Thank you so much.
Thank God the tsunami didn't take us away. So
yes, maybe next time.
Yeah, well, we can only wish. So awesome, gentlemen.
Right.
All right.
Later all.